Hello there fashion designers, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you so much for your comments, your likes, your sharing. I see everything and I want to say a big thank you. Now in today's video, I'll be showing you how to draft a 12 pieces bustier blouse. I've made a video on how to draft a 6 pieces bustier blouse. I'm going to leave the link on the description or above, so make sure that you check it out after watching this video. Today's video will be detailed as possible, so make sure that you watch to the end. Now let's get started. First, I'll go ahead to draft my starting line. Next, I'll go in with my horizontal lines, which is 9.5 inches for my bust point, then 12.5 inches for my under bust, 16 inches for my waistline, and then 23 inches for the length of my blouse. So I'll just go ahead to use my marker and draw a straight line just like this. Next, I'll go ahead to label it. I have my nipple point, under bust, waist and blouse. So that's it for that. Next, we'll go to the starting line to mark my shoulder. I'll be marking 8 inches for my shoulder and then 3.5 inches for my neckline width. Still on the shoulder, I'll go down by 0.75 inches and then I'll connect it together to my neckline. After that is done, I'm going to go ahead to mark my neck depth, which is 3.5 inches. So I'll use my curve ruler to connect it together to make a round neckline. Next, I'll mark my chest line, which is 7.5 inches. I'll just go ahead to mark it just like this. Then I'll create a straight line like this and then make this other horizontal line. Still on my chest line, I'll measure what I have there and then I'll divide it by 2. I'll go ahead to mark it just like this. Then I'll go out on that line by 0.75 inches to create my armhole curve. I'll then go ahead to connect it to my shoulder line. Now to complete the curve, I'll take my bust measurement. My bust here is 9 inches, so I'll just use my curved ruler to connect it to the other parts, and then here we have our armhole curve. Next, on my nipple point, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurements, which is 3.75 inches. Then I'll take that down to the blouse length just like this to create our bustier. After that is done, I'm going to connect it together with a straight line. Next, on my under bust, I'm going to mark 0.5 inches on my left side and then 1.5 inches on my right side. I'll do that till the blouse length. That way we are going to create the dart for the bustier. So I'm just going to connect it together just like this, and then between the under bust and the nipple point, I'm going to create this curve just like this. At the center of the armhole curve that we've created, I'm going to go down by 0.5 inch, okay? Then I'll connect it to the nipple point just like this. After that is done, I'm going to mark 0.5 inches on both sides, and then I will connect it to the breast point just like this. At the lower part here, I'm going to go out by 1 inches. I'm also going to take that also at the chest line area. I'll just use my marker to extend it like this, and then for our new armhole curve, we have the same thing. It's very important that you extend it by 1 inches or 1.5 inches. After that is done, we are going to go ahead to take the remaining body measurement. Okay, for our waist, I'm going to mark 7 inches, which is my waist measurement plus 2 inches for the dart. That's going to make it 9 inches. Then on the blouse length, I'm going to mark my hip measurement, which is 9.5 plus 2 inches for our dart intake, okay, making 11.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead to connect it down this way. After that is done, I'm going to go in to mark our dart allowance. We're not taking that on the bust area, so I'll just measure it. I have about 1/4 inch there, and then I will extend the armhole curve to that point, okay? So this is what we have. Now to create our 12 pieces, all right, we are going to divide what we have at this waist area by 2. I'll just fold my table this way, okay, and then I'll do the same thing on the under bust here. I'll connect the 2 lines together just like this, the 2 dots, okay. on the hip area, on the blouse length, I'll do the same thing, then I'll connect it together just like this. You can decide to just do whatever that you want, but make sure that it's equal. I'm just doing this to make sure that what I'm taking is equal. So at the end of the day, we have 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. Then I'll go ahead to add my sewing allowance. Remember, I didn't add sewing allowance to it. So, and because I am drafting it, I'm not going to be showing you the sewing part. I'm going to be adding the sewing allowance. All right. Then on the blouse hem, I'm going to go up by 1 inch to create our blouse curve so that it's going to sit well on the hip. This is a very important step. So after that is done, I'm going to go ahead to cut all the parts out. We have about 3 parts just like this. Okay, so when we are done to extend, to make our 6 pieces flare, I'm going to go in to add piece of paper to extend the hem line, okay, to give us the fullness that we want for the 12 pieces blouse. All right, so I'm going to add paper at each side so that we can extend the hems and create the flare. Okay, the extra papers that you're going to add to your hem can just come from your waist area. It's not everything. We are just extending from the waist to the blouse length area. That's the hem. Okay, and you don't need to take so much paper. Just get pieces of paper just like this and then put them together on all the sides. So when that is done, we are going to be extending. Now you can choose to extend 2 to 3 inches depending on how full you want your 6 pieces to be. So I'll just extend by 2.5 inches. This is my center front. From the waist area to the hem line, I'll just use my straight ruler to connect it like this. Okay, that way we have created the flare. Now remember that this is 1 pieces. You're going to be cutting it on your fabric in 2 pieces. What I mean is that your fabric will be folded in 2, so your fabric should be on fold. At the side front, I went in by 2 inches. You can reduce the side front. You can choose to reduce or use the same thing for the sides depending on how full you want your flare to be. So after that is done, I'm just going to go ahead to cut out all the extras. So here we have our 12 pieces bustier blouse. If you learned something from this video, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you share to your fellow fashion designers in your community, and also leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.